Okay, hello guys. This is our night meeting. It's about so the subject is cross and multicultural understanding. So in this ninth season, we are going to talk about verbal and non-verbal symbol system. Let's move on to the next slide. This is part 1 actually, because as usual we have to divide the video into 2 parts. So let's move on to the next slide. Communication is the process of transferring message which happen with or without words. These are 2 types, verbal and non-verbal. The intended message is transferred to people non-verbally using kinetics, or it means body language. So as we begin our discussion of the classification of non-verbal communication, you will notice that our analysis of each category starts with the behaviors found in the dominant culture of the US. We also remind you of the integrated nature of these categories. Message generated by each category do not exist in isolation, but rather exist in the company of message from other categories, verbal message, context, and people functioning as message receivers. Most classifications divide nonverbal message into 2 comprehensive categories: those that are primarily produced by of the body, such as appearance, movement, facial expressions, eye contact, touch, and para-language, and those that the individual combine with the setting, such as space, time, and silence. Haptics or touch. The first one is kinetics, and then the second one is haptics. Touch as a form of communication can be as effortless as holding your mate's hand, or as powerful and frightening as being touched in a sexual manner by a stranger. The meanings you assign to be touch and your reasons for touching others offer insight into the communication encounter. In the dominant US culture, there are 6 basic types of touching. First, accidental touching, when someone inadvertently bumps into you. 2. Professional touching is carried out by individuals such as doctors, nurses, hairdressers, or even a swimming coach moving the arms of a pupil. Third, social politeness touching is usually associated with greeting and showing appreciation. These contexts can range from a handshake to a respectful pat on the back. Next, friendship touch demonstrates concern and caring between family members and close friends. In this type, you might see action from an extended embrace to an arm placed on the shoulder. Next, love intimacy touch are those touch that usually occur in romantic relationships, just like caressing, hugging, embracing, kissing, and so on. Next, sexual touch, the most intimate type, is used for sexual arousal. The third part is about appearance. From hairspray to hair pieces, from fat-reducing diet to 24-hour fitness centers, from false eyelashes to blue contact lenses, and from cosmetic surgery to tanning salons, people show their concern for how they appear to others. Many people in US use body piercing and tattooing to alter their appearance. A study in 2010 conducted by the Pew Research Center found that 38% of Americans between the age of 18 and 29 have at least one tattoo. Keating clearly underscores the sway your outer self has on others when she writes, "The power of communication to draw others near or to drive them away derives as much from how we appear as from the language we deploy." What Keating is suggesting is, of course, what you observe daily in your personal life. Whom you approach and whom you avoid, particularly in regard to first impressions, might well determine future interaction, or indeed, if there will be any interaction. Initial attraction from one person to another is frequently the precursor to actual interaction, whereas a lack of attraction may preclude people from taking any steps toward relational development. Next, eye contact and gaze. The eyes and their power and sway have always been a topic of interest and fascination. You can witness the potential communication component of eye contact when professional poker players seek to hide behind their dark glasses or a hooded sweatshirt during the tournament. The impact of eye contact on communication is also seen in the countless literary and musical allusions to eyes made over hundreds of years. Emerson writes, "The eyes indicate the antiquity of the soul." Shakespeare also knew the communicative potency of the eyes when he wrote, "Who tells me there is murder in my eyes?" Bob Dylan underscored the same potency in his lyric, "Your eyes said more to me that night than your lips would ever say." Even the concept of the evil eyes have been present in nearly every culture of the century. The notion of an evil eye means being able to send another person a thought which is transmitted through the eyes that can cause damage in a host of ways. By some estimates, there are approximately 70 cultures covering nearly every part of the world that believe in the influence of the evil eye. Believe in the power of the evil eye, or we can say it as mal de ojo, is seen in Mexico and Puerto Rico, where mothers may isolate their children for fear of having one become a victim of mal de ojo. Next. So eye contact and gaze are essential to the study of human communication for a number of reasons. First, eyes express emotion, monitor feedback, indicate degrees of attentiveness and interest, and regulate the flow of the conversation, influence change in attitude, divine power and status relationships, and help modify impression management. Second, eyes are significant to the communication process because the number of the message they can send. We have all heard some of the following words used to describe a person's eyes: direct, sensual, sardonic, cruel, expressive, intelligent, penetrating, sad, cheerful, worldly, hard, trusting, and suspicious. And finally, and perhaps most importantly for our purpose, much of eye contact is directly related to culture. On both conscious and unconscious level, you have learned the significance of eye contact and the rules of employing eye contact. Okay, this is part 1. Just wait for the second part.